The U.S. is on the brink of a pivotal decision that could reshape the war in Ukraine. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance recently hinted that Washington is evaluating a request for long-range Tomahawk missiles, but emphasized that President Donald Trump will ultimately decide the matter. This move has sparked intense debate, especially given the high stakes involved. But here's where it gets controversial. Critics argue that such weapons might not change the battlefield dynamics, as the Kremlin has repeatedly downplayed their effectiveness. There's no magic bullet that can alter the frontline situation, said a Kremlin spokesperson, dismissing the idea that missiles targeting Moscow could tip the balance. Ukraine has long pushed for advanced weaponry that could strike deep into Russian territory, hoping to cripple Moscow's military infrastructure and force negotiations. Deputy Defense Minister Ivan Havriluk argued that if the cost of the war becomes too steep for Russia, it may be compelled to seek peace. Yet, the Kremlin insists that even if Ukraine gains these tools, the outcome remains uncertain. Whether it's Tomahawks or other missiles, they won't be able to change the dynamic, a spokesman said, highlighting the ongoing conflict's brutality. Meanwhile, the U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, suggested that Trump may have already approved strikes within Russia, a claim that has raised eyebrows. When asked about specific instances, Kellogg stated, "The answer is yes, use the ability to hit deep. There are no such things as sanctuaries." This aligns with a broader shift in U.S. policy, as Trump recently expressed confidence that Kyiv could reclaim its territory, a stance that surprised even Zelensky. The controversy doesn't end there. Trump's frustration with Putin's public willingness to talk about peace contrasts sharply with Moscow's relentless bombardments. Last week's 12-hour attack, involving hundreds of drones and 50 missiles, left 4 dead and 70 injured in Kyiv, underscoring the escalating danger. Ukraine's defense minister warned that Russia is intensifying its aerial assaults, using newer, more sophisticated drones that bypass traditional air defenses. To counter this, Kyiv has sought Patriot surface-to-air systems, but progress has been slow. "We're moving in this direction," said Havriluk, though specifics remain unclear. As Russia fires more drones and missiles, Ukraine's ability to intercept them declines. Last month, over 800 drones and missiles were launched, a record since the invasion began. Of those, 31 reached their targets, mostly civilian areas, according to Zelensky. The threat is growing, with Moscow now using advanced drones that evade electronic warfare. Ukraine's defense industry has evolved significantly, producing nearly 100% of its needed FPV drones and 40% of frontline weapons. However, until production scales up, Kyiv remains reliant on allies for air defense systems. "Strengthening our air defense is an investment in Europe's security," Havriluk said. Referencing recent Russian drone incursions into Polish airspace, he also noted that such measures would disrupt Putin's strategy of provoking Europe. The Trump administration has also introduced a new mechanism allowing European allies to purchase U.S. weapons for Ukraine. While several countries have pledged $2 billion, the process is slower than expected. Time is critical for Ukraine, which has built a thriving defense sector. Yet, without more advanced weapons and air defenses, Kyiv will continue to depend on its partners. "Only together with our partners can we stop the Russian terror in the sky," Havriluk concluded. What do you think about this potential escalation? Share your thoughts in the comments.